What up there, bro, JT? I'm coming back at you again, man. I just checked your other video out, and I'm trying something a little bit different now that I did the format. I'm trying to see. It seems as my PC is doing a little bit better, and it always does after a format because everything is cleaned up. But I wanted to come back on, man, and just really, come back and just say you are right on the money with this thing, man, about the gifts and brother Justice in the reply to brother Justice. And I don't know why I'm not getting videos from. I don't know if everybody. Like I said, I haven't gotten anything from brother Hottencliff in a while. I got one from brother PP Drawings not too long ago, but on just about everybody else, I'm not getting the videos for some reason. Now, I know that you can go into the subscription and where people that you subscribe to go to their main page and then you can follow them up. But it's just sometimes you just forget to do that. It's better that the way it used to be when you go to the main page and there the videos be out laid out for you and then you can easily just click on it. But nevertheless, I just wanted to come back and say, man, you're so right. And man, I mean, you can imagine how much I have. I mean, I've been criticized, man, and I've probably been frowned on by so many people because of the fact that the way I am when it comes to music. And I just don't believe in just throwing anything together and then talking about the Lord gonna understand. No, the Lord is not gonna understand that kind of mess. If he, what I'm saying, if God is gift, okay, first of all, let's just go, let's get real. Let's go to the secular. Let's go to the world, for instance. I was a big fan of guy Michael Jackson. Michael could sing. Michael was an entertainer to the max. And I don't care what you say about Michael Jackson. You got a lot of people that hates on Michael Jackson. You got a lot of people that said that he did it. Well, I don't know what that man done. I'm not going to say. I wasn't there. All I know is his music was off the chain. People were always, I give everybody their credit. Elvis Presley, all the people that done stuff, I give them their accolade. But no one in the history of music have ever done what Michael did. I don't care how much you hate Michael or you don't agree with that statement. No one has ever done in the history of music what Michael Jackson done. And he did it in 50 years. Now, why did I say that? Because he was gifted. He was where God wanted him to be. God told Michael, I'm going to give you 50 years. You got 50 years to make the best music. Now, you got some people argue with this. I don't care. But that don't change the fact. Look at the record sales. Thriller did it 2 times. Ain't no album in history ever done that twice. Platinum. 2-time platinum. You name one artist that ever done that. Now, I said that to say this because what? Michael was in the will of God. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of people upset about that, bro, JT. But I care about that all the way to the bank. I don't worry about what people think. I stopped that years ago, worrying about what people think. Michael was in the will of God for his talent. Now, you got certain people say, well, he would have made this deal with the devil and all that. Man, I'm not going out with that kind of stuff. All I know is when you are in the center of God's will, there's going to be fame, fortune, and money, and all the rest of the stuff when you get in the center of God's will. Why is it that you got to be poor to serve God? Let me tell people something, man. Jesus was not poor. I don't know where people get it. Well, yes, I do. People get the idea that Jesus was poor. Let me tell you where they get that from. And I know Papa JT gonna back me up in this here. This is where they get the idea that Jesus was poor at. They get it from the first Christmas story there in St. Luke. That when they went down to Bethlehem and there was no room, they didn't have no room for him back then. The poor creature had to be born in a stable. No, folks, you got it wrong. Joseph and Mary went to the motel and there wasn't no room for them. If they hadn't had any money, they wouldn't even went to the motel in the first place. It wasn't, see, we get things and we just run with it. And let me tell you something else. Not only were Mary and Joseph not poor, And Jesus was not poor, and even in his ministry. If you look at it, if you look at Jesus in his ministry, why would a poor man don't need a treasurer? Think about it. A poor man don't need a treasurer. Jesus had a treasurer. Judas Iscariot, he was skimming off the top too. He had so much money this man could steal from him and still wouldn't hurt him. Look at what Jesus told his disciples. He wouldn't have told them that if they couldn't have done it. Neither would they have responded the way they did. When they were fed, when he fed the multitude, the 5,000, not besides women in church, he said, "Where can we buy bread that they may eat?" What did Philip say? I think it was Philip. He said, "Lord," he said, "even if we could find a place to buy bread, well, could we find a place? Ain't no stores got this much food to feed all these folk." In essence, that is what Philip was saying. It didn't say they didn't have the money, because he didn't. He would have said, "Lord, we ain't got enough money to buy." No, he said, "Where can we buy?" In other words, even if we could find somewhere, we got the money, but ain't no stores got that much food. People, this is how come we need to stop all this poor mentality. Jesus was not poor. A poor man don't need a treasurer. Jesus' ministry was well financed, believe me. And Jesus' coat, the cloak that he wore, it was so valuable they didn't even want to tear it. They gambled for it. You don't tell me that man was poor. Please, let's move on. Let's move on. We were talking about gifts. Michael was in the center of God's will for his life and his talent. That's what we need to do. If most of the people that I know, I don't know about you, JT, but if most of the people that I know would get where they need to be and operate in their gifts and the talent that God had given them, they would be just as successful as anybody else. But the reason why, you see, everybody wasn't put here to be Luther Vandross or Anita Baker or Whitney Houston or Michael Jackson, for instance. But you can do what God instructed you to do. Those people are doing it and did do it. Michael was in the center of his will for his life. God told Michael, "Michael, I'm going to give you 50 years. You got 50 years, Michael, to do what you got to do." Michael done it. Musically, he achieved what no other musician, no other artist have ever done. Because what? He did and operated in his gift. How many times you go to church, you got people sitting up there in the choir, can't hold a note in a basket, but yet and still they got their mouth wide open trying to sing? How many people that you know on the usher board is just as unfriendly as they could be? You don't need no unfriendly person that has no usher. That person needs to be very likable. They need to have a vibrant personality, because they got to greet people as they come into the sanctuary. You don't need some people on the usher board. You got deacons on the deacon board. They're supposed to be conditioned and well trained in the operations of the church and to take care of the widows, and true widows indeed. And they must be well versed, and they must have their own household in order. You can't rule the church of God, your house in a mess. So if we would just operate in where God have given us our own gifts, we would be fine. But no, that's too much like right. We don't want, I call it, now here I am, I'm the keyboard player, but I want to play the bass. I'm going to get in the bass player way. We got a bass player, so Bro Walker, you need to unsplit your keyboard. We already got a bass player. We don't need you running bass line too. You see what I'm at, man? Come on. But that, I really get fired up when it comes to this subject call about being where you supposed to be. Get in your lane. If everybody get in their lane. When I was in college, we had what they call a concert choir. Well, we had tenors, altos, sopranos. Many times you don't maybe not have a true bass, but you got baritone. And everybody sang in their part. I was a tenor. I didn't need to be singing baritone. Unless my instructor wanted me to do a part, some of the parts I could maybe sing, but I wasn't a baritone. But you see, you got people in the church, they want to teach Sunday school unqualified. They don't know but 2 scriptures, 23rd Psalm and 3:16, John 3:16. But they want to teach Sunday school. They don't have the gift. If we all could just learn to stay in our lane, brother, and operate in our gifts, and like I said, I had to use Michael Jackson, man, because that was one of the guys that I could use, that I know have achieved a lot in 50-some years. He did what, because he was in the center of God's will, I believe, for his life. Now, you know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about Michael other than he was a great artist, entertainer. That's all I know about it. Other than what that media said about Michael, you can't pay no attention to that media. That media make me and you look like we bigger than T.G. Jakes, or they can make us look smaller than an ant. If you listen to the media, you'll be crazy as a Betsy bug. Hey, man, let me get out of here. This is me, the man, saying peace. Goodbye.